Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about awful story problems and how to go about solving them, okay? So a couple things we're going to do, we're going to try and fly through these ones for you just to give you an idea on how they're supposed to look. If you keep that in mind and you know how they're supposed to look and you know what some of the words mean, you might actually feel like you're doing a little better on it, okay? So the first thing you need to know, this first one says the sum of three consecutive integers is 81. What is the largest integer? Okay, so it's looking for the largest integer and it's looking for three consecutive integers and their sum. So let's actually go ahead and do that. We're going to do the sum, we're going to do that one in green, is going to be 81. So we're looking for three consecutive integers. The word consecutive means in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16. Those are all numbers in a row. Those are three consecutive integer examples. I need three of them that their sum, their addition, will equal 81. So I have a lot to start from. I can do the easy parts. I know I'm going to use some plus signs, and I know it's going to equal 81 in the end. That's what the total is, okay? It's asking you about the largest integer for this multiple choice question, but we have to find all of them to know that. We can't just guess. Cool? So we have to start calling these numbers something. Now the most popular one we can start calling them is you usually use the number, or I'm sorry, the letter n. We're going to call this the first number. This is the first number, okay? So if we decide that this is the first number, now that's not something you just need to inherently know. It's kind of intuitive, and that's why we're showing it to you, okay? The next one after this is going to be the next consecutive integer. So if I have the number 14, and I call this n, how do I get to the number 15, not using like the number 15, right? Well, if n in this example is 14, 15 is actually going to be n plus 1. Because 14, if it's 14, just an example, 14 plus 1 is 15, right? And so then if I wanted to find the number 16, I would call it n plus 2. So whatever number I'm starting with has all the weight, and then I'm kind of building off it. How do I get to the next one? How do I get to the next one? Well, 14 plus 1 is 15, and 14 plus 2 is 16. So we have our pattern, and now we just have to do some algebra. We're going to do n plus 1 and n plus 2. And since I did it in green, we know it's the sum of these three things. We're going to add them together to get 81. Now we just have to do some algebra. I'm going to take my variables and their signs, and I'm going to circle my constants and their signs, and then I'm going to combine. So I have 1, 2, 3 positive n's, that's 3 n's, and I have plus 1 and plus 2, plus 3 equals 81. This number right here. Now I can do a little bit of algebra magic and solve. Remember, we're solving for n, the first number, not the largest one, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. We get 3n equals 78. So move it over here, equals 78. Divide both sides by 3. N equals 3 goes into 7 2 times with 1 left over. 3 goes into 18 6 times. N is 26, but we're not quite done. 26 is that first number of my series, but it's looking for the largest, the other one over here. But I know they're consecutive, so I know my numbers are going to be 26, 27, and 28. Because this is n, if I add 1 to that number, I get 27, and if I add 2 to that number, I get 28. Okay? So this is kind of the setup that they're looking at. If they're talking about sums or differences, you got to know the words and how we're combining them. So this is what it'll end up looking like, and it's what the information, that's the information they're trying to get out of it, okay? Looks like we're not going to have time for the second one, so I'm going to do another video here in just a second to get to the second question at the bottom of the page. Good luck, and let me know if you have any further questions.